This is Pulse of the Day, your favorite celebrity gossip channel here on YouTube. And today we're going to be talking about P. Diddy and why P. Diddy was denied bail yet a third time. Guys, he almost collapsed during the sentencing. So actually the initial denial occurred on September the 17th, 2024, with the second denial occurring on September the 18th, 2024, just a day later. And then the third denial just happened a couple of days ago, which was November the 27th, 2024. Now his bail was set at $50 million. And guys, he was going to put up not only his mansion, but he was also going to put up the mansion of his mother, Mrs. Joyce Combs. Okay, so the reason pretty much for the third denial was basically they thought he was going to be tampering with witnesses and that he was going to be a flight risk. However, P. Diddy offered to surrender his passport to reassure everybody that he was not going to flee the country and go live in another country where he was not going to be able to be expedited back here to the United States. So we all know that P. Diddy is not everybody's favorite celebrity. So let's take a listen to see what 50 Cent had to say about P. Diddy and what's going on with all these allegations.
Doesn't really look like they're besties because, I mean, in 2011, 50 told MTV News, we don't have those kinds of relationships. These people are people I associate with. We're in the same business. We're not necessarily friends. We don't call each other for no reason. And I should tell you, if you had any doubt about their friendship, well, what did 50 Cent do just in the wake of this Jay-Z lawsuit? Well, he posted on Instagram a meme of him in a car with the caption, okay, I don't know what's going on, but are we going to still have the Super Bowl? Worried emoji? I'm just asking for a friend. That, of course, is in reference to the fact that for the last few years, Jay-Z and his company Roc Nation helped to produce the Super Bowl halftime show. But he really wasn't done there because you know how right after the lawsuit was filed, I mean less than 24 hours, Jay-Z, his wife Beyonce, their 12-year-old daughter Blue Ivy, and Beyonce's mom Tina Knowles attended the LA premiere of Mufasa, the Lion King. This is what we talked about in a previous sidebar. But now, in a deleted post on Instagram, 50 Cent wrote, Jay said they said I raped the kid. Everybody get dressed. We're going to see Mufasa.
All right, I love me some 50 Cent, but it looks like he's getting real messy when it comes to P. Diddy and Jay-Z.
Seemingly poking fun at him for going to a movie premiere in the wake of these brand new allegations. Now, to be clear, Beyonce and Blue Ivy both star in that movie. I don't think that they could have avoided the premiere, but maybe some would say you shouldn't have showed up. I don't know. But anyway, but going back to 50 Cent for a second, you know what else he apparently did? Because it didn't end there. He apparently posts an AI-generated video of Jay-Z and Sean Combs in tuxedos getting arrested by police with the caption, I want to post this, but I'm afraid I'm going to get shot, LOL, laughing emoji. Now, one other thing I have to mention about 50 Cent before we go to other celebrities. So he sat down for an interview with personality Big Boy. And it happened this week, and he addressed a lot of this. He said, I haven't had issues with Puff where I don't like him. I don't like things that he would do that make me uncomfortable. And in terms of Jay-Z, he said, I just hope things are all right for him internally. I mean at the crib. Because in the statement, they mentioned his daughter being old enough to, because she about 13, so it's the same age as these kids they saying he did something to. And he also said the damage is already done by the allegation itself. And he even claimed that the NFL, regarding the Super Bowl show, quote, will fall back in light of this lawsuit and they won't necessarily be associated to that. Meaning the NFL, they won't necessarily stick with Jay-Z.
Like I told you, 50 Cent is getting real messy when it comes to Jay-Z and P. Diddy during all this allegation stuff. So let's listen what else he had to say.
Now, in terms of what he said about Jay-Z's home life, he seems to be referencing Jay-Z's statement that was put out after the filing of this complaint. And the statement accused Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Busby, of trying to blackmail him to settle the case before filing what he claims are false allegations. And he said the following, my only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit.
I have to totally agree with Jay-Z and his comments that he made concerning the conversations he had to have with his daughter concerning these allegations at such a young age. But I'm sure since Blue Ivy is also now in the industry, that her skin is starting to get a little thick.
Now, while that wasn't really specific what to make of that reaction, I will say who did get into specifics. Charlemagne. So he hosts The Breakfast Club, and he says the following: "Good for Hov. I'm glad Jay-Z responded just like that because this has been going on for too long. It is a grift. These accusers go to these lawyers with all these salacious claims. The lawyer will put more sauce on the salacious claims. They reach out to your team, say if you don't settle with us, we're going to go public with these claims. They'll tell you they're going to hold a press conference. We're going to do interviews. And a lot of people settle because they don't want the bad press. And most people settle. You'd be surprised how many people settle. The court of public opinion makes everybody guilty, so it makes a lot of people settle. And Hov said, kiss my A, I'm not settling, and I don't blame him." And then he went on to say, "At some point, this litigious blackmailing and extortion has to stop." And he also added, what you hear is this, right? You hear the initial accusation, but you don't ever see when the case gets dropped. You don't see when the case actually gets dismissed.
So I am going to have to totally agree with the comments of Charlemagne. And recently, the father of the young lady who was accusing P. Diddy and Jay-Z of these allegations said that when he picked his daughter up, that she made no mention that she was assaulted by Jay-Z nor P. Diddy.
But while their statements are, kind of clear, I will say someone else responded to the Jay-Z lawsuit. And this was not only not entirely clear, I wasn't sure exactly what to make of it. I'm talking about rapper Meek Mill. Now, we'll get into what he said, but his name has been circulating a lot, mostly online, due to his reported connection to Sean Combs. His name has come up a lot in the past year. There was speculation that he was mentioned in one of these sexual assault lawsuits filed against Combs. This was the one filed by Combs' former producer, Rodney Little Rod Jones, who sued Sean Combs for sexual assault and sex trafficking. And in that lawsuit, Jones alleges that Combs admitted to him that he engaged in sexual intercourse with a, quote, unidentified Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. There are those who have speculated online that that is Meek Mill. At the time, Meek Mill posted on X, "One love to the gay people," but then talked about in graphic detail how much he loves women, particularly how much he loves a certain body part of, or a certain part of the female anatomy. So
ever since this picture was taken of Meek Miles and P. Diddy with this midget, and the midget confirms that P. Diddy and Meek Miles had matching outfits on, it has been in question whether or not Meek Miles and P. Diddy had a relationship in the past.
But now, in the wake of Jay-Z being named in the lawsuit, Meek Mill, who has collaborated and partnered with Jay-Z in the past, like on Get Rich, Smile Now, Don't Believe in Dreams, he seemed to address Jay-Z's legal issue because he wrote the following on X. "The goal is to start false narrative to create a matrix web. If you can control the storyline, you can control the matrix. American media is totally unbelievable. I see Jay-Z blank a 13-year-old girl 300 times scrolling. It's called programming." So while I wasn't entirely clear what that meant, I actually spoke to Meek Mill's former lawyer, Brian McMonagle, this week, and here was his take on what Meek Mill meant.
Well, I think where Meek is going with this is probably something we've all seen for a long time and felt for a long time, which is anybody anywhere can say anything. And because of the way social media is today, it takes on a life of its own. And there are people who've never met you, don't know you, who are going to jump to conclusions about you because they can't open their phones up and not read something that's, scandalous about you.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. "I feel like I would remember that, and I don't," he said.
Well, that's odd. How is it that you go to a party at 13 years old, you get raped by two of the richest men in the world, and you do not report it to your father? It's a little on the weird side, if you ask me.
At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter both raped her. She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up.
We rode home in silence. She didn't ask me what happened.
When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said she stands by her statements. I have made some mistakes, she said, in remembering what happened 24 years ago. Honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me. In a statement to NBC News, Sean Carter said, "This incident didn't happen. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory." A representative for Combs called the suit a shameless money grab.
Now, I'm not really sure if I believe Diddy, but for sure, I believe Jay-Z, because he is coming very hard for that attorney Bugsby. What are your thoughts?
Hi, Beyonce. Hi. Ooh, you look beautiful.
Now, I really can't explain why I don't really have a soft heart for P. Diddy versus Jay-Z. I guess because Jay-Z is depicted as a family man, unlike P. Diddy. But I really feel bad for Jay-Z having to tell his daughter that these allegations were going to come to the forefront and that she would possibly see them on television. Now let's take a listen at what Damon Dash has to say about P. Diddy.
Diddy. Diddy is in a world of trouble, man. He's been arrested. He had the whole lawsuit with Cassie that looked really bad. She accused him of a lot of horrible things, and including rape. And we seen the video of Diddy beating her up in the hotel. I know you know what I'm saying, you knew Diddy. You guys have known each other for a long time, and been around each other. What's your thoughts on that? What was it like when you first started hearing all this news?
It was I like everybody else, I couldn't believe that it was that extreme. So I've always known him to be turned up, but I didn't know he was that turned up. So, it wasn't a good look. It made me reevaluate. The things that he's been accused of has made me reevaluate every single second I've been in the business.
Jay-Z's attorney filed a motion Monday asking a judge to deny the accuser from remaining anonymous. They also accused Jane Doe and her attorney Busby of extortion and blackmail.
Anyone that suggests that a demand letter, especially the one that I sent, is extortion or blackmail is foolish. These kinds of demand letters are sent on a daily basis across the United States, and attempting to attack me to take the focus off of the alleged perpetrator won't work, and it won't intimidate us.
In an interview with NBC News, Tony Busby, the attorney who filed a lawsuit against Jay-Z, explained why he amended the lawsuit to include Jay-Z, which initially only named Combs when it was filed back in October.
Nothing significant about the timing other than that's when the client authorized me to do so.